I've had the most derpy day for filming. Like, it's just not been happening, and I'm sort of really annoyed with the world and my camera and the fact it stops recording, and it's just, I don't realize it. I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm tired. I'm so tired today. So very tired today. Okay, because I, want to be with the cool kids, and because I'm stuck at 294 subscribers, I'm going to do a video that is normal today, because I sometimes like to put my stake in the ground and say, I'm a booktuber who does normal videos too. So this is going to be a normal video. This is going to be a very normal video, and it's going to be a TBR, and it's going to be a wrap-up for January, and it's going to be a little book haul. I've had to do this a bunch of times, so if I sound very over it, that's because I've done this a bunch of times, and that's the reason, so don't be like, Emma doesn't care. I do care. I care too much. That's my problem. Let's do this. Let's just start off with, what I'm currently reading. Let's make this more interesting for me. I'm going to sing all. No, I'm not really going to. I'm trying to be normal. Okay. Not all the time. Just today. Be normal. My nose is just, ugh. Wrap-up time. These books I'm not done yet. These first 3. 2 of them I probably will be finished with by the time January ends. Yeah. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I'm reading this for school. It's fine. It's a dystopian novel. I like it. It's probably going to be 3 stars, even though ratings are arbitrary. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Classic dystopians are so sad, and I can't really connect with the characters because I'm like, everything's going to go to crap, so why should I care about this? The writing is beautiful, though. Next. If Walls Could Talk by Lucy Worsley. This is a microhistory of the home in England. It's really interesting. A lot of people have had issues with it I've seen on Goodreads because they're like, oh, there's not footnotes. Oh, it's not scholarly enough. Oh, O'Reilly. That's a commercial from where I live. So that's a reference no one will get. This right here it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's really interesting. It goes by section, so it's like the history of the bedroom, the history of the bathroom, the history of the kitchen. It's really interesting. I read it before I go to bed. I like Lucy Worsley. She's really smart and cute and adorable and great and smart and fantastic, and she's got a great haircut, which is all, it really, haircuts and intelligence. Not really, mostly just intelligence. Okay, next, a book that I am loving with a capital L. It is so great. It is so great. It's The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon. I've had this book for such a long time. It's been on my TBR for such a long time. It was really intimidating because it's like 600 pages. I'm about halfway through right now. Loving it. If you don't know what it's about Sam, Clay, and Joe Cavalier, who are cousins. Joseph Cavalier is a immigrant/refugee from Prague. It's set in the 1940s, so it's during Hitler's reign, and they're both Jewish, and it's really interesting, and it deals with a lot of interesting stuff. I'm just starting to get into some of the more interesting stuff that I don't want to spoil. It's fascinating and beautifully written and smart and funny and heartbreaking and warm. Sometimes for me, literary fiction isn't very warm, and I like books that feel warm and feel, even if terrible things are happening, like there's a warmth and like there's an optimism even in this darkness, because that's what I feel like real life is really like, personally. So this book is really doing it for me. And there's a back, blurb from Chicago Tribune that says, Chabon is a reader's writer with sentences so cozy they'll wrap you up and kiss you goodnight, which is exactly how this is written, and it's amazing. And if you haven't read it, go read it. I mean, I'll go to crap in the next 300 pages, but I'm really loving it, so. Next, wrap up. I read Ancillary Justice by Anne Leckie this month. I read it for the Blank Space Book Club read-along thing. We're going to do it next month. You will hear what the next book is very, very soon. We probably won't start it until the middle of February, so everybody can get on it and buy it and whatever they're going to do. This book was enjoyable. All the books that I've finished so far this year, have been 4-star books for me, but ratings, again, are arbitrary. But this book was really fun. It was my first hard sci-fi. I'm going to do a proper review of it, so I'm not going to say too much more. Or anything more. I also read The Martian by Andy Weir, which is currently being loaned out. It's funny, I loan out a lot of my books. I keep a lot of books that I might not have kept. No, I keep all my books because I want to read them again or I want to have them. But a lot of my books do get loaned out, so I kind of have a library here. It's like Emma's library. But The Martian by Andy Weir, fantastic. I really liked it. I don't have enough to say critically to do a critical review, and I don't have enough to say about how much I loved it to do like a book discussion, because I feel like a book discussion is when you're like, oh my god, I love this book, I don't want to talk about it. And like a review, critique, or whatever is when you're critiquing the book, even if you loved it. So I'm going to link the amazing Brock from Let's Read's review. That's really fantastic, because he kind of said everything that I needed to say better than I would have said it. Okay, also, I read The Casual Vacancy, which I did sort of a book discussion gush thing about of how much I loved it. I'll link that below. Okay, next, tiny little haul. Tiny little haul. It's really funny. I have been listening to Watsky's new album. If you don't know who Watsky is, he's a rapper, he's a spoken word poet, he's really great, and I really liked his second album, Cardboard Castles, but I'm listening to his new album, All You Can Do Now, and it's so great, and I don't know why I'm saying this, but I just really like it, and I just wanted to say that. Anyway, and also Stephen Stills, who's like my love, not Stephen Stills from Scott Pilgrim, but Stephen Stills as in Cries of Stills, Nash & Young, which is one of my favorite bands of all time, sings in it, and it's fantastic. Beyond the point, though. Tiny book haul. So, we have an independent bookstore that opened up in, like, December, and I want to support them. So, I ended up getting All Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, which everyone loves, and I'm sure I'm going to love. I'm going to read it very soon. I'm probably going to read it in February. Whew, talking very fast. I wasn't going to get this until I found out that the chapters are very short, and I love short chapters. Next, Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I was going to get this from my library, and then I changed my mind, so I ended up buying it. Anyway, Susie from Read Susie Reads really loves this, and I'm sure I'm going to love it too. Next, a book I pre-ordered, Vicious by V. Schwab. I'm going to finally read this baby. I pre-ordered in paperback because it was cheaper and I didn't really want to buy it in hardback. Next, a book that I'm being loaned, someone is loaning to me, is Please Ignore Vera Diaz by A.S. King. Everyone loves A.S. King. She's a darling of the YA and literary world, and I'm excited to finally read her. Next, the book I'm reading for school and writing a paper about is Chronicle of a Death Foretold by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I've never read Gabriel Garcia Marquez, but he is a multicultural, diverse author, which is very cool. This is like a murder mystery situation in some country in Latin America. Not Latin America, in South America. Is that Latin America too? I don't know. I'm ignorant. But it's also very short, which is fun. Okay, finally. Like a bee. Okay. I need your help for this part. This part, I need y'all's help. Help me, I think I'm falling in love with you. Na-na-na-na. Joni Mitchell, another one of my favorite artists. Okay, so, I have 3 books here, and I'm not going to do like a TBR because I don't have enough to say about that. I do really want to read a romance novel because I've read a lot of like very, not serious, but kind of like thicker books, and I need to read something fun. And so I think I'm going to reread this Nora Roberts book that I love, that I read a few years ago in the summertime. It's like Practical Magic, and I love Practical Magic, so yeah, I might reread that really soon. But anyway, I told you I have very diverse reading tastes. But I want to read a young adult book. I haven't read a young adult book at all this year, which is weird for me because normally I read, like 50% YA, 50% everything else. But I've slowly kind of been going away from YA. It's not that I don't like it, it's that I just haven't been as interested. But I do have 3 books here that I do want to get to pretty soon. And I want you guys to help me choose which one to read. So if you can just comment below and say, you should read this one, blah and why, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so first, Rune and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. It's the 3rd book in the Shadow and Bone series. I really like the series. It's really interesting, and I like the writing. And Leigh Bardugo, I got to see her talk at YALLFest, and she was the best part of YALLFest. She's so smart and funny and great. Also, Jacoby by William Ritter, which I've heard is like a mix between Doctor Who and Sherlock Holmes, which is what the back even says, I think. But I'm excited. Or Conversion by Catherine Howe, because I've had this book since October, and I don't know, I've heard mixed things, so I'm trying to decide what I want to do with it. If I want to read it or I want to give it away. So, this is my Booktube video. I talk very quickly. I hope you don't mind that. I hope you have a wonderful day. What are you going to read next month? What have you finished? What book should I read here? Anyway, bye!